Discovering Time, stories from a collector community. In this video, I'll be going through a very quick how I went about writing this book. Here are the steps I took to make it happen. Step 1, vision. I started by writing a synopsis, which was basically what I would personally like to read myself. That would then provide the guardrails of what I actually wanted to write. That would mainly be short stories, and I used a shit ton of post-it notes to organize my thoughts. Step 2, game plan. That consisted mainly of making the time to write. Once I got my wife's support, the rest was just sacrifice. I made a weekly schedule and I stuck to it, no matter what. Step 3, find my flow. This consisted mainly of two parts. The first was just experimenting with writing styles until I found one that I was comfortable with. The second was all about finding where to write, as I found that the location of where I wrote had a big impact on my productivity and mood. Step 4, setting stakes. This consisted of holding myself accountable by just putting pressure on myself. I made it publicly known what I was doing, what my plan was, so people would constantly check up on me. That made me feel like I had to finish what I started. Step 5, stop wishing, start doing. This was really hard. Most of my time was spent just thinking about what to write. I couldn't control the timing of my creativity, so I had to force myself to write, good or bad, as often as I could, whenever I could. Step 6, see the forest for the trees. I was constantly taking a step back and kind of reevaluating whether or not my writing was consistent with the vision I had set out. I originally thought I was going to write 50 short stories, but quickly realized that number didn't make sense. I kept making adjustments along the way to make sure the book was fun. That was important to me. Step 7, wax, polish, and repeat. I took a 3-step editorial approach. I first edited for myself, then for the masses, and finally for those glorious haters. Step 8, battle with my wife. Also my editor. She was very supportive and motivational. Make no mistake though, she almost broke me a few times. At the end of the day though, she made me a lot better than ever could be on my own. Step 9, design something beautiful. I had a very specific vision on how I wanted the book to look and feel, but I knew I was going to need to hire a lot of help to pull it off. I interviewed over 100 freelancers and ultimately landed on about a half a dozen people to help me out. Step 10, face my fears. Once I was happy with the finished product, it was time to self-publish. And that was a pretty daunting and scary experience. Not as scary as Freddy Krueger was to me when I was a kid, but it was pretty intimidating.